Hey soulmates, today I'll be showing you how to create this exaggerated shoulder pad. It is about 0.75 inches thick and we used a hip padding foam, the kind of foam we use for hip padding to create this. So first you want to fold your paper into two and then take your measurement of 4 inches from the corner all round, creating a quarter of a circle. Be careful not to go away from that sharp corner right there. Just make sure that your tape is at that corner right there, and then you get the 4 inches measurement all around. And when you're done, you're going to connect the points like so. When you finish connecting it, cut it out and then open it up. Then you're going to place the pattern paper on your hip padding foam. The hip padding foam is 0.75 inches thick. So just place your pattern paper like so, and then you're going to pin the pattern to the foam like I did here, and then cut out the shape. Now this foam is so thick, so what we want to do is to shave the same way we shave for our hip padding. If you have not seen the hip padding tutorial, kindly check my previous uploaded tutorials. Now you're going to shave along these edges like so, and then this thick side is going to be left untouched. So get your sharp scissors and then first trim off the way I am doing it here. It's almost as if you're cutting up to half of that edge away. And when you do that, you begin to shave in a slanty manner like so. Be careful not to cut through the curve so that you don't lose some of the length. So cut out, shave like so in a slanty manner to achieve, that gentle slope that will give you a smooth slope to blend with your shoulder slope. Notice how thin the edge is at this point. Now you're going to fold over your fabric like so, and you're going to place the thick part of this foam along the fold of the folded part of the fabric, just like I did here. And then you are going to cut around it, but make sure you add an allowance of 1 inch around it. Not half an inch, please, 1 inch. The reason you're going to add 1 inch is because that thick part of the foam is going to take up space. So by the time you place the foam inside it, it's going to be really tight, and you want to have enough space around it so that you can sew it down and also weave the edges or interlock the edges like some people call it, so that you would have, a smooth finished shoulder pad. So now we have a circle. So what you want to do is place the foam inside like so, and then wrap the fabric around the foam. So please always add 1 inch around, the foam when you're cutting the fabric, and then place the foam inside. When you're done placing it inside, you are going to sew it round and interlock the edges. Then you are going to use your steam iron and your burst ham, or anything you have to mold your shoulder pad like I'm doing here, just so that it has a natural curve. So take your time and gently mold your shoulder pad so that you can have that beautiful curve that a shoulder pad naturally has. So I just pinned it on a mannequin so you can see what it looks like. Now to attach your shoulder pad to your dress, you are going to fold the shoulder pad into two equal halves. And when you do that, you're going to align it with the shoulder joining. That's the joining along the shoulder. Also, you are going to make the shoulder pad to exceed the armhole joining a little bit so that it can have that puffy effect. So it's not going to fall directly along that armhole joining that you see there. It's going to exceed it a little bit. Then carefully pin starting from that folded area along the shoulder joining, and then make sure you hide your seams. I'm folding my seams inward because I'm still going to cover it with appliques. So pin, making sure that, that part is exceeding the armhole joining. This is the armhole joining I'm talking about. The armhole joining is the joining between the sleeve and either the yoke or the bodice parts of your blouse or dress. So, here I'm just pinning the, shoulder pad to it. And then using your thread and needle, you're going to sew the shoulder pad down. Here I was not really trying hard to hide my stitches, but if you're doing yours, please be careful. Try to sew in between the seams in order for you to hide your stitches. And then you are going to sew along the shoulder line, and then if possible around the shoulder pad curve. Some people leave it without, they don't sew around the shoulder pad curve because by the time you wear it, it just falls naturally. But if you don't want to stress your client, you can just sew it down so that they don't have to start smoothing out the shoulder pad. Sometimes when they wear the shoulder pad, it might fold along that curve because it was not stitched down. But if you don't have something to use in covering, that curve, you can just leave it like that. Another thing you can do if you are not using a see-through fabric like I used here is that you can stitch it to the lining fabric so that the stitches will be completely invisible. They wouldn't, show in front. So what you want to do is stitch the shoulder pad to the lining if you are not using a see-through fabric. But here I'm using a skin net, which is clearly see-through. That's why, I'm stitching it like this. And the other reason why I'm stitching it like this is because I'm covering it with an applique. When I was done, I covered it with an applique. And this is the finished result. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.